We've got a brand new patch on the official server, and Grock's Revamp is included. There's also a stronger Carmilla, a recharged Eve, and a sneaky Vexana fix that might actually change her build path. Let's break it down. Let's start with Grock because his revamp changes everything. First, his passive, and it has 3 effects. Whenever his energy bar is full, Grock gains shield equal to 10% of his max HP. And it also empowers his next basic attack that deals HP-based damage. And while the shield is active, he also gains bonus physical defense. This effect has a cooldown of 18 to 12 seconds, but you can make it shorter if you're near a wall. As you can see, it's faster, so always stick to walls when your passive is on cooldown. A bonus part of his passive is the ability to gain CC immunity when casting any skills. Yes, any skill and you gain CC immunity. Cool, right? Now let's move on to his first skill. The skill knocks enemies back in a wide swing. If they hit a wall, they're launched airborne and take extra damage based on their max HP. So if you want to maximize the skill, always use it near walls. Next is his second skill. Grock summons a wall in a target area. Enemies inside the wall get pushed harder toward Grock. You can clearly see the difference when enemies are hit on the edge compared to the ones inside. And now you can recast the skill to remove the wall early. Great for repositioning or not trapping your allies by mistake. And finally, his ultimate. Grock charges forward, dealing damage along the way. If he hits terrain, he stops immediately and triggers a massive explosion that knocks enemies airborne and deals heavy damage. The area of effect is huge, perfect for catching grouped enemies. And if you miss terrain completely, don't worry, you get 50% cooldown refunded. Overall, Grock's new kit gives him CC immunity on every skill, more crowd control in his combos, and more tank scaling. His passive now rewards basic attacks, so Thunderbelt might be a solid option. He's good against physical damage dealers because his passive grants him physical defense. And I forgot to mention that he grows bigger as you add more physical defense. So have you tried the new Grock? Is he good, bad, or just balanced? Next, let's move on to Carmilla. Her skill 1 used to be unpredictable. Sometimes it hits hard, sometimes not at all. That's fixed now. She gets 3 crimson flowers instead of 2, and they now spin faster by default. No more waiting to ramp up. This means more consistent hits overall. But to balance that out, each hit does slightly less damage, and the slow and healing effects are also toned down. Her second skill now has better mobility. The movement speed doesn't drop off right away, which means it decays more slowly and only starts after 2.5 seconds. That gives her more time to reposition, chase, or escape. And her passive also got a buff. It now triggers on the same hero every 3 seconds instead of 5. That makes it more useful in solo fights. Overall, Carmilla just feels smoother and more reliable. Her damage and mobility are more consistent, and you can expect her to show up more often in rank. Eve finally gets a functional passive. Now when she damages enemy heroes with her skills, she gets a shield. It can stack up to 3 times. Great for some extra survivability. Skill 1 is where the real buff hits. It received lower cooldown and lower mana cost. This allows you to spam the skill as often as you like. Damage is slightly reduced, but since you land more hits over time, it's still a win. Skill 2 got nerfed a bit. The continuous damage is now weaker, but in return, the mana cost was reduced. Now for her ultimate. Since Eve's new passive replaces the old stacking mechanic, the devs made a key change. Her ultimate now has a fixed 20 attacks. No more stacking bonus hits from the passive. What you see is what you get. Always 20. Also, because her new passive already provides a shield, the ultimate no longer gives one when activated. To balance that out, the slow effect when swiping has been increased, making it easier to lock enemies in place. And there's a new camera height adjustment during her ultimate, so you get a wider view of the battlefield. Super helpful for aiming in team fights. All in all, Eve feels more responsive and more dangerous, even when her ultimate is on cooldown. The passive adds more survivability, and the buffs to skill 1 give her more control in lane. This is a nice quality of life patch that Eve players will definitely feel. And finally, Vexana. Before this patch, Vexana's Eternal Guard couldn't trigger item effects like Glowing Wand or Genius Wand. Now it can. Plus, the guard's basic attacks can also activate attack effects. That means the burn from Glowing Wand and even Feather of Heaven's attack effects are now applicable to her ultimate. This should quietly boost her DPS, especially if you're building Glowing Wand. And that wraps up our official server update. This patch might look small on paper, but watch out for Grock and Eve. So which heroes have you tried already? Let us know in the comments.